I know that you were looking to play an expansive game. It was tight for a long time, but then it began to open up. Is that part of how you wanted to play?
I'll be honest, we didn't want the first 30 minutes weren't ideal. It wasn't really what we kind of wanted to kick on with, but we kind of grew into it. So I'd rather kind of end on a high, as opposed to kind of like on a dead note. I think a lot of it was, nerves, new team clicking together, and maybe trying to force it that little bit too much too early. So yeah, it clicked in the end. We were kind of playing a bit narrower than we'd like. Like, we've got really talented back three that we want to get the ball to as early as possible. So I think for us now this weekend, it's kind of like relaxing and settling that little bit easier, and quicker into the game and kind of cracking on from there. So yeah, not a tidy start, but solid foundations to build on, and we'll go on from there.
And when you did go wide, there was some fantastic performances, maybe even around Anna Doyle, some of the tries she scored.
Yeah, some serious fast twitch fibres with some of the girls. So I can only look on with envy. It's really nice, and like to see girls that are like their first cap, really enjoying the game. Some of them bagging some tries as well, and kind of soaking it up. It's been, for a lot of them, the first time they've played in front of like a nice loud crowd. So you can kind of expect there to be nerves there, but we're not going to have that excuse now at the weekend. So it's just like, Connacht game is kind of done. We'll learn from kind of those kind of rough, patchy starts and crack on from there.
Yeah, were you pleased with the bench, in particular people like Molly McCabe coming on and performing very well?
Yeah, like you had I think the bench came on and definitely did a job. A lot of Molly, changed the tempo of the game a lot. She looked really, really lively and very dangerous, with a lot of serious breaks all around the park. Elise O'Byrne White coming on and getting a try very early on with only a few minutes on the clock. So yeah, it's been really positive, and it's a selection headache for Tanya, but I think a selection headache is a nice complaint to have. So we'll see what team kind of gets put out there at the weekend, but I'm looking forward to it and excited.
Indeed, obviously it's going to be a different challenge at the weekend. You're probably up against a more formidable pack, but will you still stick to the fast flowing game?
We'll see. We'll probably make some changes, and maybe we'll kind of assess what strengths we can kind of bring. I think Munster have a lot of key players in there that are fundamental to how they go about it, but I think it's more like concerning ourselves with us and what we're going to bring. There's going to be tweaks. We're going to have some kind of different moves and stuff that we'd like to play that would think be a better fit for Munster versus Connacht. But at the end of the day, it's still going to be, try and play like simple rugby, just done well, and hopefully that'll get us somewhere, and 2 wins from 2.
Okay, well, listen, congratulations on kicking off so well. Thanks, Jenny.
Thank you very much. Cheers, appreciate it.
Have we any more questions in the room, guys?
Hi, Jenny. Can you hear me?
I can. I also have a visual as well, which is pretty nice too.
You can look somebody in the eye. Just interested really in how your centreship partnership went with Easterdog, and how she played very well. So how did you feel the two of you played together?
Oh, like Aoife's an absolute dream to play with. Just constantly wants to learn, constantly kind of willing to work. Really tenacious around the park, and just got a really positive attitude. It definitely is like one of those kind of bubbly people that you're happy to be around, and even for like an old dog like myself, you can learn so much from that. So she like soaked it up, had a great game, player of the match, and I can really see her do some special things both in blue and in green. I think she's one of the future stars that are going to grace Ireland for a few years to come. I think, there's plenty to learn, but I think it's I think we've kind of paired together well, and there's still, as club mates with Old Belvo too, there's still things that we can kind of tidy up and work on. But I'm looking forward to that. I think like getting our timings a little bit more right and kind of reading each other a little bit better. But like defensively, I thought she's super solid, and she's only going to get better.
And with two more rounds to come and 2 games away then, and obviously in Munster Park next weekend, how important is it to get a good run out in Energia Park ahead of the game next week? Yeah,
like I think like it's Interpros is like you're playing against the 3 provinces, and it's always going to be tough, and Connacht always have that bit of bite about them. Facing them first and kind of getting a little bit of rust out of our system in terms of like going away to Munster is always tough, and it's something that like it's one of my favourite games in the rugby calendar to play. There's that bit of extra bite, a bit of venom, and we're playing against club mates as well, who we know how dangerous they can be. So like I think getting the rust, dusting off, kind of some little kind of dusting it off, like tweaks here and there. But Cork away from home is tough. But those are the games you want to kind of play. You're going into the Lions Den essentially, and there's maybe that little bit more nerves than there will be at a home game, but it's all good nerves, and it's something that you're like, okay, it's a little bit of added extra sweetness when you do get the win. So I think we're not focusing too far ahead. It's kind of putting our own game plan in place and improving what we know we can improve on, and just kind of going from there.
And just wondering about yourself, Jenny. You are around for a while. 10 years is it playing there? But how do you get yourself sort of motivated? Like for these games. Are you just do you naturally get motivated, or is it harder to get motivated as you get, as you play more?
Fish oils definitely help with the joints anyway. To be honest, like I think how I've approached the game is a little bit different. I've had some injuries over the few years, and now every game that I get to play, I'm just really grateful that I'm able to get to play it. I've been so lucky to have found a sport that I love, and got to like meet some amazing friends playing the game, that it's just something really special. And there's days in November, and when you're getting up extra early, or you're training in the rain, where maybe I'd be a bit grumpier than I would have been a few years ago, but at the same time I realise how quickly that can all go with one injury, and it's gone and you don't ever get to play again. So I look at it as being like every game I get to play now is a cherry on top, and it's something that I enjoy in the middle of the game as well. I have a look around and I know it's a game. It is important. It's something I care about, but it's also a game, and it's fun, and I'm going to enjoy it.
And finally, Jenny, just in relation to, say, with a lot of new caps coming into the team and panel, do you sort of assume a leadership role in terms of giving advice to the younger players and that?
Yeah, there'd be a few heads in the camp and in the squad that have been around for a few years. So I think everyone is a leader in different ways. Sometimes it's through actions, sometimes it's through chatting, and you kind of, at the end of the day, I've been really lucky to have played under some amazing players who I've learned so much from. So if I can help with players enjoy that game that little bit more, or take away that bit of extra stress, or help them sharpen up a line that they're running, or working on some small technique, it's a really privileged spot to be in. And it's because I benefited from being that younger player all those years ago that, I want to do the same for younger players now. So Yeah, a little bit. The old fogey still kind of helps the younger players around the squad, but I'm also still kind of learning as well, and that's kind of nice to be too. So it's a two-way thing.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks very much, and best of luck.
Thanks a
for the next
million.
2 weeks.
Cheers.
Any other questions for Jenny, guys?
Jenny, there was a lovely photo post match of yourself and Clara Barrett after the game. Like, for yourself, what is it like playing with and against these players that actually looked up to you when they were younger?
Oh, it was actually mad. Clara's mum messaged me the day before the game, I think a day or two before the game, and sent me a picture of me looking slightly less haggard with Clara. And it was I felt old. I'm not gonna lie, but it was really lovely. I got to speak to her after the game and to chat to players that were so, clearly so excited. I love that she was talking about minis rugby and how exciting it was, and it's really nice to see something like that come into fruition from, the success that we had with Ireland in 2013 and 2014, and now as a result more girls are playing and playing with their province and going up from grassroots right to provincial. So yeah, it was a blast from the past, but a nice one, and I need to now invest in a more expensive moisturiser, but yeah, it was lovely.
Is that nice that, like, when you're in the final few laps of your career, that there are a lot of people coming up, it doesn't matter what the province is, that the pathway is there the whole way up, and hopefully we'll see interprovincial teams getting younger and younger and more experienced as the years go on?
Oh yeah, like it's you want more girls and women to be playing rugby because, well, firstly it's a great sport and you love it, like regardless of whether you're going to play provincial or you get to play in the national team, which is something bloody great, but even playing it socially, it's brought me so much joy, and some of my friends that mightn't represent Leinster or their provinces, but they get so much from it. So maybe being that catalyst for more players to have picked up and started the game is great. And like, the more players that play, the more competitive it's going to be, and the better our teams are, and the more competition and like the higher quality games they're going to be as well. Like, you've seen it even in World Cup finals, if you compare the last 3-4 Women's World Cup finals, the games are getting more exciting. There's more skill. There's like really talented coaches getting involved in the game. So like, I think, yeah, the more the merrier. And if there's one or two girls that have picked up a ball because I went to a minis tournament or they saw some players play a few years ago, it's a really nice cycle, I guess, to be a part of.